Olivia Mason looked through the small window of the space shuttle. Stars twinkled against the black emptiness of space. She had been working on the research ship called Artemis for 5 years now. As the top scientist who studied possible alien life, she never thought she would actually meet aliens. But today changed everything. A huge crystal-like spaceship had appeared near Earth without any warning. It was beautiful, with surfaces that reflected light in rainbow colors. All the armies of Earth got ready to fight, pointing their weapons at the strange visitor. But Olivia saw something no one else noticed. The ship was sending out energy in a pattern. Olivia recognized it as a simple counting sequence: 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. It wasn't random. It was a message. It was an invitation. "We need to answer them," she told her boss, Captain Laura Fisher. "Absolutely not," Laura said firmly. "We wait for orders from Earth," but Olivia couldn't wait. The pattern kept repeating, like someone knocking on a door waiting for an answer. While everyone argued about what to do, she slipped away to the shuttle bay. "I'm just checking the equipment," she lied to the guard. Once inside the small shuttle, she quickly started the engines. "Mason, what are you doing?" Laura's angry voice came through the radio. "Return to the ship immediately." "I'm sorry, Captain," Olivia replied. "But this might be our only chance." She flew the small shuttle toward the massive alien ship. Military ships tried to block her way, but she was small and quick. As she got closer, she expected to crash against the alien ship's protective shield. All tests had shown it was impossible to get through, but something strange happened. The shield opened for her like a door welcoming her in. Her shuttle passed through easily and entered a large opening in the crystal ship. Inside, everything was different. The gravity felt lighter, and the walls seemed alive. They glowed with soft blue light that followed her as she moved. The corridor she landed in stretched ahead, curving gently. Olivia put on her spacesuit, not knowing if she could breathe the air inside. With a deep breath, she stepped out of her shuttle. The floor felt warm under her boots. It seemed to be made of some kind of metal, but it pulsed with light like it was breathing. She walked forward, following the mathematical pattern that was now showing in the lights on the floor. "Hello?" she called out. Her voice echoed strangely, as if the ship itself was listening. As she walked deeper into the ship, the corridors got wider. The ceiling rose high above her. The walls were covered with symbols that moved and changed as she looked at them. They reminded her of stars and galaxies, maps perhaps, or a language she couldn't understand. After walking for what felt like hours but was probably only minutes, Olivia came to a massive door. It was 3 times her height and seemed to be made of the same living metal as the rest of the ship. Strange symbols were carved into its surface. As she watched, they rearranged themselves, flowing like water. Olivia reached out slowly, not sure if she should touch it. Before her fingers made contact, the door simply disappeared. It didn't open. It just wasn't there anymore. Beyond was a huge room that made no sense to her eyes. Spaces seemed to fold into each other. Light bent in impossible ways. The ceiling showed what looked like a view of many different planets and stars, but they moved and changed as she watched. In the center of the room was a raised platform, and on that platform was what could only be described as a throne. It was made of the same crystal material as the ship, but it glowed with inner light. Sitting on the throne was her. The alien. She was tall, at least 7 feet in height. Her skin shimmered like the surface of a soap bubble, changing colors from blue to purple to green. She had a face that was almost human, with high cheekbones and a straight nose, but her eyes were larger, with pupils that were vertical slits, like a cat's. She had no hair, but what looked like delicate crystal structures growing from her head in a pattern that resembled a crown. She wore flowing robes that seemed to be made of light itself. They moved around her even though there was no wind. And she had 7 long fingers on each hand, currently frozen in midair as if she had been speaking. Around the throne stood other aliens of different shapes and sizes. Some looked almost like humans, others were completely different. One seemed to be made entirely of shifting smoke. The moment Olivia stepped into the room, everything stopped. All movement ceased. All eyes turned to her. The alien on the throne stared at Olivia with those strange vertical eyes. They widened in what could only be described as shock. Her color changed rapidly, flashing through purple, red, and gold. "Impossible," the alien said, but her mouth didn't move. The word appeared directly in Olivia's mind, clear as if it had been spoken aloud. "You were not summoned. You cannot be here. The other aliens moved back, some making sounds that might have been alarm. A few reached for objects at their sides that Olivia guessed might be weapons. I'm Olivia Mason, she said, keeping her voice steady despite her racing heart. I'm from Earth, the planet you're visiting. I saw your message and came to answer it. The alien princess, for that's what she must be, given the throne and the crown-like structures, stood slowly. She was even taller standing, towering over Olivia. No human should have been able to enter this vessel, the princess said in Olivia's mind. Her mental voice was musical but filled with confusion. Our barriers prevent it. Our signals were not meant for direct contact. Then why did you come here? Olivia asked. The princess descended from her throne, her glowing robes flowing around her like water. The other aliens backed away further, creating a path. As she came closer, Olivia could see that her eyes had golden flecks in them that swirled like tiny galaxies. We came seeking sanctuary, the princess said. We came to hide. But now you have found us and everything has changed. She stopped directly in front of Olivia, looking down at her with those strange, beautiful eyes. You have no idea what you've done by coming here, the princess said. No idea at all. The alien princess, who called herself Zildari, paced around Olivia. Her skin shifted colors like an ocean at sunset. The courtroom had emptied of the other aliens, leaving just the two of them. You must return to your people immediately, Zildari said inside Olivia's mind. Your presence here endangers us all. I don't understand, Olivia said. She had removed her helmet after learning the air was safe to breathe. If you didn't want contact, why come to Earth at all? Zildari stopped pacing. Her tall form seemed to dim slightly, as if the light inside her had faded. My people are the Luminari, she explained. We have traveled across 17 galaxies running from a terrible enemy. We thought Earth would be safe because your technology is simple. The enemy would not notice you. Who is this enemy? Olivia asked. They are called the Swarm, Zildari said. Her skin darkened to a deep blue, almost black. They destroy entire worlds. They eat civilizations. They take all knowledge and technology and leave nothing behind. Olivia felt a chill run down her spine. And they're chasing you? Yes. My ship carries the last 5,000 of my people. Our home world is gone, eaten. Zildari's voice in Olivia's mind became heavy with sadness. We have watched your Earth for many years. We learned your languages. We studied your customs. We planned to hide in your oceans where the swarm would not look. But I found you first, Olivia said, understanding now why her arrival had caused such shock. Yes, and that should not have been possible. Zildari moved closer, studying Olivia's face. Our shields block all your technology. No human ship should have been able to enter. No human mind should have understood our mathematical invitation. It was meant for other luminary ships that might have survived. Olivia remembered how the shield had opened for her small shuttle, like a door welcoming her home. I don't know how I got in, she admitted. The shield just opened. This is very troubling, Zildari said. It suggests there is something special about you or about humans. If you could find us so easily, the swarm will too. A soft chime filled the room. One wall changed, showing what looked like a view of space. Olivia could see Earth blue and beautiful and the Artemis floating nearby. Several military ships had gathered around her abandoned shuttle. Your people are looking for you, Zildari said. They seem upset. I left without permission, Olivia explained. They're probably worried. And afraid of your ship. They should be afraid, Zildari said. Not of us, but of what might follow us here. The alien princess made a gesture with her 7-fingered hand. A smaller alien entered the room, moving quickly on 4 thin legs. It had no visible face, just a smooth oval where a head should be. Prepare a meeting space, Zildari ordered. We must speak with the Earth leaders. The small alien bowed and left. You want to talk to our leaders now? Olivia asked, surprised by the sudden change. I have no choice, Zildari said. Your arrival has forced my hand. Now we must work together if any of us are to survive. Olivia followed Zildari through winding corridors of the living ship. They entered a room where the walls were completely transparent, showing the vastness of space all around them. Earth filled one entire wall window. This is beautiful, Olivia said, staring at her home planet. Yes, Zildari agreed, standing beside her. Your world is young but full of life. We have seen many planets, but few as vibrant as Earth. That is why we chose it. How long have you been watching us? Olivia asked. 200 of your years, Zildari replied. A very short time for us. Luminari live for thousands of years. That's why you speak English so well, Olivia realized. We speak all your languages, Sildari said. We connect directly to minds, so we understand the meaning behind the words. The small alien returned, making a series of clicking sounds. The communication room is ready, Sildari said to Olivia. We will contact your leaders and explain our situation. They moved to another room filled with crystal panels that glowed with inner light. Sildari placed her hand on one panel and it lit up brightly. I am sending a message to all your world governments, she explained. They will see me and hear my words translated into their languages. Olivia watched as Sildari stood tall, her skin shifting to a formal-looking silver color. The panels around them showed faces appearing, world leaders looking shocked and afraid as their screen suddenly showed an alien princess. People of Earth, Sildari began, her mental voice now projecting outward to all the connections. I am Princess Sildari of the Luminari. We came to your world seeking sanctuary, but now I must warn you of great danger. For the next hour, Sildari explained everything to Earth's stunned leaders. She told them about the Luminari, how they had been a peaceful race of explorers and scholars before the swarm had destroyed their civilization. She explained how they had fled across the stars, watching as world after world fell to the relentless enemy. The swarm consumes all advanced technology, she said. They add it to themselves, growing stronger with each civilization they destroy. We hoped to hide among you because your technology level would not attract their attention. But now they will come here? Asked the President of the United States, her face grave on the screen. Yes, Sildari confirmed. The fact that Olivia Mason could enter our ship suggests there is something about humans that the swarm will find interesting. They will sense it and come. How long do we have? Asked another leader. Days, perhaps weeks, Sildari said. The swarm moves quickly when they find a new target. Panic erupted among the leaders. Some shouted for military action. Others demanded the Luminari leave Earth immediately. A few simply looked defeated. Listen to me, Sildari said, her mental voice cutting through the chaos. We can help you prepare. The Luminari have fought the swarm for centuries. We have weapons and shields that might give Earth a chance. Slowly, the panic subsided. Plans were made for immediate meetings between Luminari scientists and Earth's top researchers. Military leaders would coordinate defense strategies. When the communication ended, Sildari looked exhausted. Her skin had dulled to a pale gray. Are you okay? Olivia asked, concerned. Mental projection across so many minds is tiring, Sildari explained. I need rest, but there is no time. What happens now? Olivia asked. Now you become our ambassador, Sildari said. Your people will trust you more than us. You must help them understand what is coming. Me? But I'm just a scientist. I don't know anything about diplomacy or war. You were brave enough to enter an alien ship alone, Sildari said, her skin warming to a gentle pink. That is the kind of courage Earth will need now. A loud alarm suddenly blared through the ship. The walls pulsed with red light. The small alien rushed back in, making frantic clicking sounds. What's happening? Olivia asked, her heart pounding. Sildari's skin went completely white. Long-range sensors have detected something entering your solar system, she said. Her voice trembled in Olivia's mind. Something large. Something hungry. The swarm? Olivia whispered. Yes, Sildari confirmed. They have found us much faster than I feared. We have no time to prepare. What do we do? Olivia asked. We fight, Sildari said simply, or we all die. Earth's space agencies tracked the approaching swarm ships with growing horror. The alien vessels looked like giant metal insects with long, spike-like legs extending from central bodies. They moved fast, tearing apart asteroids and small moons as they traveled. The broken pieces were pulled into the ships, which seemed to grow larger with each object they consumed. Back on Earth, Olivia stood in a hastily prepared command center. Scientists and military leaders from around the world had gathered in this underground facility. Large screens showed the swarm's approach. They'll reach Earth's orbit in 16 hours, said Dr. Samantha Wells, Earth's top physicist. She had been working day and night with the Luminari to understand their technology. Sildari stood nearby, her tall form drawing curious glances from the humans. Her skin had settled into a deep blue color that Olivia now recognized as the princess's thinking shade. We must share our defensive technology with you now, Sildari said. There is no time for proper training, but it's your only chance. Our satellites and weapons platforms are ready to receive the upgrades, General Diane Carter said. She was in charge of Earth's combined defense forces. But will it be enough? No, Zildari answered honestly. But it will give us time to evacuate as many of your people as possible. The room went silent. This was the first time anyone had mentioned evacuation. Evacuate to where? Olivia asked. To our ship, Zildari explained. The Luminary vessel can hold perhaps 1 million humans. It's not enough, but it's something. General Carter shook her head. We're not running. This is our home. It will not be anyone's home if the swarm takes it, Zildari said gently. They don't just destroy. They convert. They will turn your cities, your oceans, even your people into more of themselves. Samantha pointed to a complex diagram on her tablet. What about this? Your energy shield technology. If we could scale it up, create a shield around the whole planet. Impossible, Zildari said. It would require more power than your entire planet produces in a year. What about your ship's power source? Olivia suggested. Could we use that? Zildari's skin flashed with surprised yellow. The heart of light? It's not meant to power defensive systems of this scale. But could it work? Samantha pressed. Zildari was quiet for a moment, her eyes looking at something far away. Perhaps. But it would drain the heart completely. My ship would never fly again. My people would be stranded here. Better stranded than dead, General Carter said bluntly. Zildari nodded slowly. I will speak with my council. It is not a decision I can make alone. While Zildari returned to her ship to consult with the Luminary Council, Earth prepared for war. Military forces worldwide mobilized. People in major cities were moved to underground shelters. Scientists worked frantically to integrate Luminary technology with Earth's defense systems. Olivia found herself working closely with Samantha, trying to understand the complex alien science. This doesn't make sense, Samantha said, staring at equations on her screen. According to these calculations, the Luminary ship shouldn't even be able to move. The power requirements are impossible. Maybe we're missing something, Olivia suggested. Zildari said they exist in 11 dimensions. We only perceive 3. That's just it, Samantha said excitedly. Look at this section of the code. These variables here, they're pulling energy from somewhere else. Not just another place, but another layer of reality. Before they could explore this further, the alarm sounded. The first swarm scout ships had entered Earth's orbit. On the main screen, they watched as Earth's orbital defense platforms, newly equipped with Luminary weapons, fired at the approaching enemy. Beams of blue energy sliced through space, cutting several swarm ships in half. It's working, someone shouted, but the celebration was short-lived. The destroyed swarm ships broke apart, but instead of becoming space debris, the pieces kept moving. They formed smaller ships that continued their approach. They're adapting, General Carter said grimly. The battle in orbit was brief and devastating. Earth's combined forces managed to destroy many swarm vessels, but not all. Several broke through and headed toward the planet's surface. As they entered the atmosphere, they broke apart into thousands of small pods. Impact points calculated, a technician called out. They're targeting major cities worldwide. Those aren't bombs, Zildari said as she returned to the command center. They're spores. They will grow into conversion centers. What does that mean? Olivia asked. They will transform everything around them, buildings, vehicles, even people, into more swarm material, Zildari explained. Each center will spread about 1 mile per day. Can we destroy them? General Carter asked. Yes, but only before they fully establish themselves, Zildari said. You have perhaps 6 hours from landing. Teams were dispatched worldwide to find and destroy the swarm pods. Many were successful, but not all. In several cities, the pods had burrowed deep underground before they could be located. 3 days later, the first conversion centers emerged. In New York, Tokyo, and Cairo, strange metallic structures burst from the ground. They grew visibly, sending out tendrils that attached to nearby buildings. Everything they touched began to change, turning gray and metallic. People who were caught by the tendrils underwent a horrible transformation. Their skin hardened and split, revealing metal underneath. Their eyes turned black, then red. They began capturing other humans and bringing them to the growing centers. From the command center, Olivia watched the footage with horror. We have to do something. My council has agreed, Zildari announced. We will use the Heart of Light to create a planetary shield. It will not destroy the swarm that has already landed, but it will prevent more from arriving. How long will it take to set up? General Carter asked. 2 days, Sildari said. If we're lucky. Luck was not on their side. As teams worked to connect the Luminary ship's power source to Earth's satellite network, more swarm ships appeared. Larger than the first wave, these new arrivals easily broke through Earth's defenses. They're targeting our work teams, Samantha reported as another installation went dark. They know what we're trying to do. Sildari's skin had turned a dull gray. They always know. The swarm has a collective mind. What one learns, all learn. Then we need to surprise them, Olivia said suddenly. Do something they haven't seen before. Like what? General Carter asked. Samantha, you said the Luminary ship pulls energy from other dimensions, right? Olivia turned to the physicist. Could we reverse that? Push energy into those dimensions? Samantha's eyes widened. Create a dimensional pulse? That's actually brilliant. If the swarm exists primarily in our 3 dimensions, a pulse through the higher dimensions might disrupt their connection to each other. Would it work? General Carter asked Sildari. The alien princess looked thoughtful, her skin shifting to purple. It has never been tried, but the theory is sound. The swarm's collective consciousness requires constant communication. If that communication were disrupted, they might lose their coordination, Olivia finished. Become vulnerable. How do we create this pulse? General Carter asked. We'd need to modify the Heart of Light, Sildari said. Instead of using it for a shield, we'd create a dimensional wave. But that would still drain it completely? Olivia asked. Yes, Sildari confirmed. Once used this way, the heart will burn out. High people will never leave Earth. General Carter looked at the screen showing the spreading conversion centers. I don't think any of us are going anywhere if this doesn't work. The plan was set in motion. While Earth's remaining military forces fought to contain the swarm's expansion, Sildari led a team to modify the Heart of Light. Samantha worked on the equations needed to target the pulse properly. Olivia coordinated between the human and Luminary scientists, making sure everyone understood their roles. As they worked, more swarm ships arrived. The conversion centers grew larger, spreading their metallic infection across cities and into the countryside. The situation was becoming desperate. We're ready, Samantha announced finally. The pulse generator is calibrated. All Earth forces have been warned to shut down electronic systems for the next 6 hours, General Carter reported. We don't know how this pulse will affect our technology. It will not harm your basic equipment, Sildari assured them. But anything with artificial intelligence or complex networks might be affected. The pulse targets connected consciousness. What about the Luminary? Olivia asked. Your people are telepathic. Won't this hurt you too? We have protected ourselves, Sildari said. But Olivia noticed her skin flicker briefly with worry. Most of us anyway. Before Olivia could ask what that meant, the final countdown began. The Heart of Light, now connected to a complex array of equipment, began to glow brighter and brighter. It pulsed with colors Olivia had never seen before, colors that seemed to exist at the edge of her vision. Dimensional pulse in 3, 2, 1, Samantha called out. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then Olivia felt something pass through her. Not a sound or a sensation, but a kind of sideways movement, as if the world had briefly shifted and then returned to normal. The dimensional pulse had worked better than anyone hoped. The swarm ships in orbit were easily destroyed, and the conversion centers on Earth stopped growing. Teams of soldiers using Luminary weapons moved in to clean up the remaining swarm creatures, but victory came with a heavy price. The Heart of Light, the power source of the Luminary ship, had burned out completely. The once beautiful crystal vessel now floated dark and lifeless in Earth's orbit. 2 weeks after the battle, Olivia visited the temporary camp set up for the Luminary people. 5,000 aliens with shimmering skin now lived in tents and hastily built shelters on a remote island in the Pacific Ocean. Earth. Governments had agreed this isolated location would be best until humans got used to the idea of aliens living among them. Sildari met Olivia at the edge of the camp. The princess looked different now. Her skin still changed colors, but the shifts were slower, less vibrant. The crystal crown-like structures on her head had dulled. How are your people doing? Olivia asked as they walked through the camp. We are surviving, Sildari said. Her mental voice in Olivia's mind seemed weaker. It is difficult. We were not meant to live under an open sky. We have spent generations on our ship. Olivia looked up at the blue Earth sky. Is that why many of your people stay in their tents during the day? Partly, Zildari admitted. Our eyes are sensitive to your sun. But mostly it is fear. Your world is beautiful but strange to us. They passed a group of Luminari children playing near a small pond. Unlike the adults, they seemed to be adapting well, their skin flashing with excited colors as they discovered new Earth creatures. At least the children are happy, Olivia observed. Children adapt more easily, Zildari agreed. They will know Earth as home. It is harder for the elders who remember our original world. They walked to a small hill overlooking the ocean. Zildari sat down carefully on a large rock, her tall form folding gracefully. The human governments want to know when your people will be ready to share more of your technology, Olivia said, sitting beside her. Especially your medical knowledge. They believe it could cure many diseases. Zildari was quiet for a moment. There is concern among my council about giving humans too much too quickly. Your species is very inventive. You turn tools into weapons with alarming speed. We just fought a war together, Olivia pointed out. You trusted us then. We had no choice then, Zildari countered. Now we do. We must be careful. The swarm was attracted to Earth partly because of you, Olivia Mason. Olivia frowned. Me, what do you mean? You should not have been able to enter our ship, Zildari explained. The shield was designed to keep all Earth technology out. Yet you passed through as if invited. This suggests there is something unique about you. Something the swarm sensed from far away. But what? I'm just a normal person. Are you? Zildari asked. Her large eyes studied Olivia's face. When you first entered my throne room, I was shocked not just because a human had entered our ship, but because you looked familiar somehow. Before Olivia could ask what that meant, her phone rang. It was Samantha Wells. Olivia, you need to come to the research center right away, Samantha said, her voice excited. We found something in the swarm debris. Something impossible. An hour later, Olivia and Zildari stood in a secure lab beneath the main command center. On a large examination table lay a chunk of metal from a destroyed swarm ship. Scientists in protective gear moved around it, taking samples and readings. What am I looking at? Olivia asked Samantha. We've been studying swarm material for weeks, Samantha explained. It's mostly metal alloys, some biological components. But this piece is different. She pointed to a small section that glowed faintly blue. This isn't swarm technology. It's much older. Zildari moved closer, her skin pulsing with surprised yellow flashes. May I? She asked, reaching toward the glowing section. Samantha nodded, and Zildari placed her 7-fingered hand on the metal. Her eyes widened. This is Luminari technology, she said softly, but ancient. From before my time. That's what we thought, Samantha said. But how did it get inside a swarm ship? The swarm absorbs technology from civilizations it destroys, Zildari reminded them. They must have taken this from my people long ago. But there's more, Samantha said. She tapped on a tablet, bringing up an image on the wall screen. It showed a complex DNA sequence. We found biological material embedded in this section. We analyzed it, thinking it might be from your people. And, Olivia asked. It's not Luminari DNA, Samantha said. It's human. Silence fell over the lab. Olivia stared at the screen, trying to understand. That's impossible, she finally said. Humans have never left our solar system. We couldn't have encountered the swarm before now. The DNA shows signs of extreme age, Samantha continued, and genetic engineering far beyond our current capabilities. But it's definitely human, or at least started as human. Zildari's skin had gone completely white. There is something I must show you, she said. Both of you, come with me. They took a helicopter to the island where the Luminari were camped. Instead of going to the main settlement, Zildari led them to a cave hidden in the cliffs on the far side of the island. Few of my people know about this, she explained as they entered. It was kept secret, passed only from ruler to ruler. The cave opened into a larger chamber. At its center stood what looked like a simple stone altar. Zildari placed her hand on it and lines of light spread from her fingers. A holographic image appeared above the altar, a star map showing thousands of galaxies. This is our journey, Zildari said. The path my people have taken over the last 10,000 years, fleeing from the swarm. The map zoomed in, focusing on a single planet. It was blue and green, with large oceans and land masses that looked vaguely familiar. This was our original homeworld, Sildari said. Before the swarm found us. Samantha moved closer to the image. Those continents, they look like Earth's but different, as if they had shifted over millions of years, Sildari finished for her. Yes, this is Earth, but Earth as it existed 50 million years ago. Olivia felt her heart pounding. You're saying your people are from Earth? From our past? Not exactly, Sildari said. The hologram changed, showing tall beings with shimmering skin working alongside creatures that looked almost human. We shared this world with your ancestors. The Luminari evolved here just as humans did, but we evolved first. So you're saying humans and Luminari are related species? Samantha asked, her scientific mind racing. More than that, Sildari said. We helped shape your evolution. The Luminari had mastered genetic engineering before your ancestors had even discovered fire. We saw potential in the early humans. We enhanced them. The hologram showed Luminari scientists working with DNA strands making changes. You experimented on humans? Olivia asked, feeling both fascinated and disturbed. We helped them, Sildari corrected. We gave them intelligence, creativity, the capacity for abstract thought. Things that would take millions more years to develop naturally. Why? Samantha asked. Because we saw the swarm coming, Sildari said. The hologram showed dark ships approaching Earth. Our scientists predicted they would find us eventually. We needed a backup plan, a way to preserve our knowledge if we were destroyed. So you put it in us? Olivia asked. In humans? Not just knowledge, Sildari explained, but potential. The ability to one day reach the stars and fight the swarm if we failed. We couldn't give you all our technology at once, you weren't ready. So we encoded it in your DNA, to be unlocked gradually as you evolved. That's why I could enter your ship, Olivia said, understanding dawning. I have Luminari genes. All humans do to some degree, Sildari said. But in you, something has activated more fully than we expected. Perhaps radiation from your work in space or some random genetic combination. The hologram changed again, showing the swarm attacking ancient Earth. The Luminari fought back with advanced weapons, but they were overwhelmed. We lost, Sildari said quietly. Most of our people were killed. A few thousand escaped on generation ships, carrying the heart of light. We've been running ever since for 50 million years, watching from afar as humans slowly developed on the world we once shared. And now you've come full circle, Samantha said. Back to Earth. Yes, Sildari confirmed. We never intended to make contact so soon. You aren't ready for our full knowledge yet, but circumstances forced our hand. Is that why the swarm came here so quickly after you arrived? Olivia asked. Because they sensed the connection between our species? I believe so, Sildari said. The swarm has been hunting us for so long. They can sense our energy signature across vast distances. When you, Olivia, with your partially activated Luminari genes connected with our ship, it created a beacon the swarm couldn't ignore. So what happens now? Samantha asked. Will they come back? Eventually, Sildari said. The ships we destroyed were just scouts. The main swarm is vast beyond imagining. It might take years or decades, but they will return. Then we need to be ready, Olivia said firmly. Your people need to teach us everything you know. That was always the plan, Sildari said, her skin warming to a hopeful blue. Just not so quickly. We hope to guide your development slowly over centuries. Now we must accelerate the process. Can it be done? Samantha asked. A year passed. The Luminari settlement on the Pacific island grew from a temporary camp into a small city. Crystal buildings rose among the palm trees, their surfaces changing color with the sun. Humans and Luminari worked side by side, sharing knowledge and technology. Olivia had moved to the island permanently. She lived in a small house near the beach, where she could watch the sunrise over the ocean. Today she sat with Sildari on her porch drinking coffee. The alien princess had developed a taste for the bitter earth drink. The integration program is going well, Olivia said, looking over reports on her tablet. 20 more Luminari families will move to mainland cities next month. The public response has been mostly positive. Mostly, Sildari agreed. Her skin rippled with cautious blue. There are still those who fear us. People fear what they don't understand, Olivia said. That's why the education programs are so important. In the year since the swarm attack, Earth had changed dramatically. Luminary technology had helped clean up pollution, cure several diseases, and develop new energy sources. In return, humans had helped the Luminari adapt to life on a planet after generations in space. Not everyone was happy about the aliens' presence. Some religious groups called them demons, some governments worried about their influence, but most people had come to accept them, especially after their help during the swarm invasion. "Samantha called this morning," Olivia said, changing the subject. "The new detection system is online. If the swarm returns, we'll have months of warning instead of hours." "That is good news," Sildari said. "But the main swarm is vast. Our defenses may not be enough when they come in force." "That's why we're working on the DNA project," Olivia reminded her. Since discovering the luminary genetic markers in human DNA, scientists had been studying how to activate more of this dormant potential. Olivia, with her unusually active markers, was their primary test subject. "Any progress?" Sildari asked. Before Olivia could answer, her phone rang. It was General Carter. "Olivia, we need you and Sildari at headquarters immediately," the general said, her voice tense. "The deep space array has detected something. Something big." An hour later, they stood in the command center beneath the island. The facility had been expanded over the past year, combining human and luminary technology. On the main screen, a blurry image showed a massive object moving through space. "What is it?" Olivia asked. "The swarm?" "We don't think so," Samantha said. She had dark circles under her eyes from working long hours. "The energy signature is different, and it's moving too slowly." "Can we get a clearer image?" Sildari asked. "We're trying," Samantha replied. "It's at the edge of our detection range, but it's definitely heading toward our solar system." "How long until it arrives?" General Carter asked. "At its current speed, about 3 months," Samantha said. Sildari's skin flashed with sudden recognition. "Increase magnification on the lower section," she instructed. The image zoomed in, showing what looked like a series of rings around the bottom of the object. "It can't be," Sildari whispered, her skin paling to white. "What is it?" Olivia asked. "A luminary arc," Sildari said, her mental voice filled with wonder. "One of the original ships that escaped Earth 50 million years ago. I thought they were all destroyed or lost." "You're saying more of your people survived?" General Carter asked. "It seems so," Sildari said. "This is incredible news." Over the next weeks, they tried to communicate with the approaching ship. At first, there was no response. Then, as it came closer, they received a simple mathematical sequence, the same pattern that had drawn Olivia to Sildari's ship a year before. "They're cautious," Sildari explained. "They don't know if Earth is still overrun by the swarm. They're testing to see if anyone remembers the old codes." Sildari sent back the correct response. Days later, they received a transmission, a holographic message from the Ark. It showed an elderly luminari, his skin a deep purple with age. He spoke in the luminari language, which Sildari translated for the others. "We are the last of the Third Fleet," the elder said. "We have traveled the stars for eons, searching for others who escaped the fall of our world. Our sensors detected luminary energy signatures from this system, along with unusual activity that suggested swarm presence. We approach with caution but with hope. Are there truly luminary still living? Is the ancient homeworld safe to return to?" Sildari recorded a reply explaining everything that had happened. She told of how her smaller group had returned to Earth, how they had fought alongside humans against the swarm, and how the two species were now working together. 2 months later, the Ark entered Earth's solar system. It was enormous, at least 10 times the size of Sildari's ship. Telescopes showed it was actually multiple ships connected together, forming a small traveling world. "How many luminari do you think are on board?" Olivia asked as they watched the Ark approach on the command center screens. "If it's a full Ark, perhaps 1 million, Sildari said. "But after so long in space, it's hard to say." The Ark established orbit around Mars, keeping a cautious distance from Earth. A smaller vessel detached and headed toward Earth. It carried a delegation of Ark leaders, coming to see for themselves what Sildari had told them. The meeting took place in a large domed building on the Luminari Island. World leaders gathered with Luminari Council members to greet the visitors. Olivia stood beside Sildari, nervous but excited. The Ark Luminari were different from Sildari's people. They were taller, their skin patterns more complex. Their crystal crown structures were larger and more elaborate. They moved with a formal grace that made even Sildari seem casual by comparison. Their leader, Elder Zorthan, approached Zildari and bowed deeply. "Princess of the Fifth Fleet," he said in the musical Luminari language. "We thought all other ships were lost. Finding you here on the ancient home is a miracle beyond hope." "The miracle is your survival, Elder," Zildari replied, returning the bow. "The Ark was believed destroyed when the swarm overtook the Andromeda sector. We fled through the dark spaces between galaxies," Zorthan explained. "For millions of years we have drifted, hiding, watching. We detected unusual energy spikes from this system, the dimensional pulse you used against the swarm. We recognized the pattern and came to investigate." The Elder turned to look at the human representatives. His ancient eyes widened when he saw Olivia. "And these are the descendants of those we left behind," he said softly. "They have grown much in our absence." "They are our partners now," Zildari said firmly. "Equals. We share this world together." Zorthan seemed troubled by this. That was not the original plan. The human species was meant to be guided slowly, carefully, their development monitored over thousands of years. "Circumstances forced a change in plans," Zildari explained. "The swarm found us before we were ready. We had no choice but to accelerate the process." The Elder's skin darkened with concern. "This is dangerous. Human minds are not ready for full luminary knowledge. The original genetic engineering was designed to unlock capabilities gradually, over many generations." "We're figuring it out," Olivia said, stepping forward. "Together." Zorthan studied her closely. "You," he said. "You have active markers. Many of them." "How is this possible?" "We're not sure," Olivia admitted. "It seems to be a random genetic variation. Or perhaps exposure to cosmic radiation during my work in space." "It is more than that," Zorthan said. He reached out one long seven-fingered hand toward her face, stopping just short of touching her. "I sense the old patterns in you, the original template." After the formal greetings, the real discussions began. The Ark Elders were concerned about sharing Earth with humans. They had expected to find an empty planet, or at most a primitive human civilization they could guide from afar. Finding humans with advanced technology and luminary already integrated into their society was shocking to them. "The Ark carries the complete knowledge of our civilization," Zorthan explained during a private meeting with Zildari, Olivia, and several key human leaders. "The full scientific and cultural heritage of the Luminari. It was meant to restore our society here, to rebuild what was lost. And it still can," Zildari said, "but alongside humanity, not separate from it." "The risk is too great," another elder argued. "Humans are still violent, territorial. They fight wars among themselves. What if they turn our knowledge into weapons?" "We've changed," General Carter said firmly. "The swarm attack united us as never before. We know the real enemy is out there, not here among ourselves." Discussions continued for days. The Ark Elders were divided. Some wanted to leave Earth and find another world. Others saw the potential in working with humans. Zildari advocated strongly for cooperation, reminding them that humans and Luminary shared a common home world. Meanwhile, Samantha made a breakthrough in the DNA research. She called Olivia and Zildari to her lab beneath the island. "I've identified the activation mechanism," she said excitedly, showing them complex molecular models on her screens. "The Luminary encoded a kind of genetic lock in human DNA. It's designed to open in stages as certain environmental and cognitive conditions are met." "Like developmental milestones," Olivia suggested. "Exactly," Samantha agreed. "But here's the interesting part. Your markers, Olivia, aren't just randomly activated. They've been systematically unlocked, as if someone deliberately triggered them."